Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about a fragrance which is not very well known, and it has absolutely shocked me because it's a tremendous fragrance, very high quality, very creative, and amazing value for money. It is Pharrell Williams Girl. This is a fragrance which is made by Comme des Garçons. That company is an out-and-out niche fragrance manufacturer. It makes fragrances which are off the beaten track. Most of them are synthetic. Their fragrances have a story to tell, and I am one person who enjoys such fragrances. But let's start. Look at the bottle. It looks like a tacky sort of a aftershave or even a deodorant bottle. It's a real pun, yeah? And this will sit very badly with your collection of Creeds and Tom Fords and Amouages, so you'll have to hide it if you're conscious. Second, look at the name, Girl. Now, this fragrance, excuse me, this fragrance is as girly as, let me put up a picture, as girly as this, okay? So those are the two things which are against the fragrance. And another thing is, this fragrance actually has a very odd sort of a presentation. Those two eyes, they're dead eyes. They look like a voodoo doll to me. They really freak me out. I try not to look at those eyes. So everything about this fragrance is against it. And when it was launched, it was a major flop, complete flop. It was launched in 2014, and the perfumer, I can't remember his name. His name is Antoine Lai. He launched in 2014. It was a total flop. And when I smelled this, I was completely bowled over by how nice this fragrance is. Now, it's a completely synthetic composition. A few years ago, a couple of years ago, I reviewed a fragrance which was not very popular then. Now it is very popular. And it's a very synthetic composition. It is Zadig and Voltaire. This is him. A lot of people bought this fragrance after my recommendation and came back and said I was 100% right. It's a fantastic fragrance. The only thing is it's completely synthetic, so you'll have to get used to it. This fragrance is very similar. Excuse me. I've already got it dry down. I'm going to spray. The atomizer is all right. And when I first sprayed it, the first time I sprayed it, I was totally just distraught that I'd wasted my money because it smells really odd. It smells very synthetic and very odd. It's really weird. It's creamy, bitter, synthetic. It's just odd. And when you just give it another 5 seconds, that's when the beauty happens. So don't spray it and judge immediately. Yes, immediately. 5 seconds. Just give it 5 seconds, right? And you'll see that the fragrance starts to unfurl. Imagine it to be somewhere in a rubbish dump. You pick something and it's got stink all over it, and then when you open the fragrance bottle and let it settle, then you get this little nice aroma. And that's what I'm starting to get. Fun starts now, and it's non-stop fun. So lavender, neroli and pepper, and that pepper is mixed with a sort of isoe super like cedar. And you know, initially it was so bitter. It was bitter, creamy and synthetic. And now, wow, that lavender and neroli are creating a superb sort of a barbershop-like scent, but it's not barbershop. And there's this creaminess to this fragrance along with freshness of pepper. So imagine it's creamy pepper. And then suddenly, my favorite note in this fragrance comes out, violet flower. Superb. I just had to wait 10 minutes. So violet flower along with a very radiant iris, and immediately your mind races towards what? Dior Fahrenheit. This is a creamy Dior Fahrenheit opening. You know, it doesn't have that gasoline smell, but it has that leather, and there's no leather mentioned in the notes breakdown. It has that leather and that Fahrenheit violet flower, complete petroleum sort of a vibe to it, and creaminess. Creamy Fahrenheit. That's how I'll say the opening is. This is one when I just went, wow, wasn't expecting that. Completely bowled out by this beautiful floral gasoline creamy smell, which is fresh and creamy. I've said creamy at least 10 times. It's beautiful, beautiful, radiant, creamy smell. It's amazing. So creative. Was not expecting it. That's when I said, you know what? I have to really give this a few wears. And this was in dead of winter I was wearing it, and I was loving it. It was stunning. And then the fragrance starts to dry down. It's a long fragrance, slowly evolves, and it brings in a very nice vetiver. And fragrance shifts from being a sort of a creamy Fahrenheit to a creamy vetiver scent with fantastic labdanum, Cyrax labdanum. And that labdanum is what gives it a leathery texture. Again, borrowing from Fahrenheit. So I was reading about this fragrance. I was reading about Pharrell Williams. And Pharrell Williams actually wore Fahrenheit when he was growing up. So the penny dropped on me. So it's basically inspired by Fahrenheit, but it's got its own unique take on it. So creamy Fahrenheit to start with, and then creamy vetiver with a leathery Styrax labdanum, which is warm. It's so different to the spray. There's this little sweetness to it, little freshness to it, little creaminess to it. More ambery warmth, a little bit of sandalwood and patchouli. Patchouli is the star of the show in the late dry down with that vetiver, and still creamy, and still has that little hint of Fahrenheit violet flower. This fragrance is superb in terms of complexity, how it smells, the creativity, the uniqueness. It's lovely. So upsides and downsides. Number one, the fragrance has tremendous shock factor. Wow. When all these fragrances are coming out with tonka, same citrus, vetiver, it's just after 10 ml you'll get bored. You will not get bored with this fragrance. I promise you. It's a creative genius, this fragrance. And it smells amazing, man. Just give it 5 minutes max. It smells amazing. This fragrance smells absolutely stunning. I'm praising it to high heavens, I know, but I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. So, number one pro, this fragrance has X factor. It's not like your every other fragrance. It develops, it's complex, it's just amazing. Second thing, performance. This thing shoots off your skin. I was wearing it in winter. I was putting my typical 2 sprays on the wrist and going out just for a walk and late in the evening. And I could smell myself. For the first 1 hour, this has monstrous projection. Monstrous. So, if you're a person who watches the performance aspect of the fragrance, you'll not be disappointed. Okay? Number 2. Number 3. I think because it smells so masculine and yet so elegant and so attractive because of Styrax labdanum, which is a very attractive note, the compliment factor will be high. Absolutely stunning. Number 4, niche quality. You know, you will have to spend a lot of money to get something as creative, well made, and beautifully smelling fragrance. You know, this has got superb, niche value. It's very creative. That's what I like about this fragrance. So those are 4, if you like, upsides. On the performance front, I'll cover that later after I've done the cons. So downside, the whole packaging, whole concept is against the bottle. This is one reason why people will avoid this fragrance. It's called GER. Yeah, people will avoid it. Don't avoid it. I'm telling you, you'll be missing out on a great fragrance. I think one of the upsides of this fragrance has to be value for money. Okay, this is discontinued but highly easily available. 50 ml will cost you somewhere between 25 and 30 pounds here in the UK, and that is stunning value for money. This fragrance has absolutely everything which should warrant at least twice as much money. Yeah, that's 5 upsides. So I've already covered one downside, which is the packaging, the concept. It might wrong foot you. The second thing is it's a synthetic composition. The opening isn't great. It might wrong foot you again because you will think it's a hideously awful smelling fragrance. Give it time. Let it work its magic on you. At least one wear. Give it one wear from a sample or something. If you don't like it, you can sell it. It's not very expensive. But I think you will like it. So those are the 2 downsides. Seasons. I think this smells best when it's really cold. But it also smells really springy because of neroli, lavender, and vetiver. Those are 3 notes which sing to me as spring. So I'm reviewing it in spring, but I think this will be even better off when it's really sub-zero. And I've tried it in sub-zero. This year we had really harsh winter. It smelled even better than this. But spring is what I would say I'm going to wear it most. But yeah, as long as it's cold, bring it out. It can't be hot because that synthetic cedar that you smell up front is going to annoy your nose. Yeah. So performance. Longevity, at least 8 hours. Projection, 1 solid hour, constant projection, constant. Yeah. Sillage, strong. Put 2 sprays on your shirt, check it out yourself. You have to move and you'll smell. So it gives you that confidence that people can smell you because you can smell yourself. So all 3 factors on performance is brilliant. Age groups, 30 plus. It has that cedar smell that makes a fragrance a little bit mature. Like Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is a mature scent, 30 plus. So it has this gravity about itself. And it's quite masculine. So I would say 30 plus. When to wear it? This is so elegant. You can wear this evening time, daytime, as long as it's cold. You can wear it to office, as long as it doesn't project too much, as long as you don't put too many sprays. You can wear it to a first date, very impressive fragrance. Shock factor is high. Shock not in the bad way, in a good way. You can wear this to a social function, on slightly formal dress or semi-formal kind of a dress. It's brilliant. It's very majestic. I think I've covered all aspects, haven't I? Marks out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. This is one of a kind fragrance. Just like this fragrance, Zadig and Voltaire, this is him, one of a kind. These fragrances are so rare. They smell so really, unique that you really think to yourself, I haven't spent so much money, but I'm smelling amazing. You need to try these fragrances. I'm going to put a link to this review at the end of this review. Do check it out. These fragrances are very unique, and that's what I like about this fragrance. Not only unique, it smells great. Absolute niche quality. 8 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the review, fellas. Take care. Bye-bye.